the sights, especially the Jefferson Memorial and the Washington Monument. And the tidal basin is particularly spectacular in the springtime, when the cherry blossoms are in bloom. Without a doubt, it's the most picturesque spot in all of D.C. More than 1 million people come each year to take part in the Cherry Blossom Festival, which offers many activities and cultural events, in addition to the pure pleasure of being surrounded by thousands of pink and white flowers.
Okay, true or false? They were given to DC nearly a century ago to encourage the growing friendship between the two countries. The trees are dearly loved by tourists and locals alike.
Now let's shift our attention from the water to the sky. Look up, you'll see an ideal view of the Washington Monument. I already mentioned it's the tallest structure in D.C., and definitely the most prominent. As you tour around the city, it's fun to see it in the distance from so many vantage points, but experiencing the monument up close is really breathtaking. White marble sparkles against the sky, 50 American flags around it flutter in the wind, and the sheer height and simplicity of the form make it dramatic and beautiful. But how did the monument come to look this way? After Washington's death, architect Robert Mills was hired to create a tribute to America's founding father, and a statue of Washington in a chariot. Inside the colonnade, there were supposed to be statues of 30 prominent Revolutionary War heroes.
Very nice. Yep.
It happens so fast once the sun starts to set.
Very nice.
We're about to pass under the Memorial Bridge. As we emerge, you'll see the magnificent Lincoln Memorial with the Watergate steps leading up to it. These steps were envisioned as a dramatic entrance into the city for dignitaries arriving by boat. They make the Lincoln Memorial look all the more beautiful and stately from the water. Abraham Lincoln, the nation's 16th president, is honored at this building, fashioned after ancient.
Folks, I drive this river about 5 nights a week all summer long. But these two guys paddling on our port side over here are the most incompetent people I have ever seen in my life.
Greek temples. It's surrounded by 46 Doric columns, representing the states of the Union at the time of Lincoln's death. Inside is a stern
You can do it!
showing Lincoln sitting alone in contemplation. His arms rest on the sides of his chair. One fist is clenched, symbolizing strength. The other rests loosely, representing compassion. One foot is forward, a natural stance, but also a symbol of his openness and forgiveness. The figure of Lincoln is larger than life. In fact, he would be 28 feet tall if he stood up. Carved inscriptions of Lincoln's famous addresses, like the Gettysburg Address, each landscape experience that conveys 4 recurring themes of Dr. King's message: justice, democracy, hope, and love. And it's hard to miss the Washington Monument and the Smithsonian, one of the world's largest museums, which includes the National Gallery of Art, the National Air and Space Museum, and the American History Museums, to name just a few.
started in the horseshoe-shaped buildings just
Center.
past the Kennedy Center. They make up the Watergate complex, a combination of office buildings, apartments, and a hotel. It was also the location of the Democratic National Committee headquarters, the scene of a burglary, and the beginning of a series of events which ultimately culminated with the resignation of President Nixon. The burglars were found to have close ties with the CIA and White House, resulting in months of intense investigations. What came out was that Nixon had secretly tape-recorded conversations in his office. In a case that would rise all the way to the Supreme Court, it was ordered that the tapes be handed over. Their review made it clear that Nixon had been actively involved in the cover-up from the start. With impeachment inevitable, he became the first U.S. president to resign from office. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Actually, Nixon didn't turn the tapes over. He had his secretary, Rosemary Woods, type them out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, put them into a lot of 3-ring binders. He had a whole table covered with them. Unfortunately, she inadvertently lost 18 minutes of one of the
At one
tapes.
time an easygoing 18th century port town. It's now a hip, action-packed neighborhood where you're sure to find trendy restaurants and designer shops. It's a great town to explore, get a bite to eat, and do some shopping, especially along M Street, the neighborhood's main thoroughfare.
Washington Monument, baby. Jenny, is that you?
Oh, there she is!
Lincoln Memorial, huh? It's like they come to life. The Korean Memorial.
There's 19.
It's all about moving from one piece of shade to the next.
Yep.